Hello everyone, welcome back once again to my YouTube class. I am Manjit Rawat, your online instructor. This is another session of VMware virtualization, and in this session I'm going to give you complete information related to distributed switch. So as we know that in virtualization we have a two different way to set up our network environment. One with the help of standard switch, and second we can configure the virtual machines networking by using the option of distributed switch as well. So let's try to understand about the concept first, and after that we'll move ourselves to inventory and discuss about the procedure, how we can use the services or options which is available in distributed switch. So if we talk about the agenda, so today's agenda in case of distributed switch, we'll discuss from very basic like as a how to create DB switch, right? The first topic that we need to cover in this session, we will discuss about how to create a distributed switch. Second step, adding host. You can say that host adding in our distributed switch. And then discuss about configure port group, which will talk about the very important topic of distributed switch. It's a export DB switch configuration, which is really important topic. DB switch configuration. We'll discuss about how we can restore, and last we'll discuss about restore the configuration. And we'll also discuss about the migrate multiple virtual machine from one VLAN or one port group to another port group. Migration of VMs from one port group to another. So this is our agenda, and in this session we'll try to complete the entire topics related to the distributed switch. And about the VLAN, private VLAN, and isolation we'll discuss in another session. But in this session, I'm going to define each and everything practically how you can manage these services directly with the help of vCenter inventory. So back to the vCenter server, guys. This is our vCenter server. I have already connected my ESXi host 1.100, and 1.100 contain two different virtual machines. And I think we haven't created any distributed switch because we need to start from the very basic as per the agenda. The first topic, the first step, I'm just going to give you complete information like as a creating our distributed switch. So how we can do that? You just need to open our vCenter server inventory, as you know that, and click on this particular panel. This is for networking. You can manage your network environment. Right click on your data center that you connected, and in the data center we are able to find one option, distributed switch. Just need to click here, create new distributed switch. Type any name, like in our case I'm just going to proceed with name of class db switch. Okay, you can use any name, it's up to you. And this is our data center, means location. Next, and you can also verify the compatibility, like as you are using a latest version of ESXi, or you are using a some old version of ESXi. So according to the available host in our environment, you can proceed with any. Click next, and this is a uplink. Uplink is related to the number of Ethernet which is connected with your ESXi host. It's how many NIC card are connected with your ESXi, so you can set according to your requirement. And this is the port group. You can see that this one is the default port group. Whenever we create our distributed switch, it automatically come into the picture, but we will configure our port group separately. So I'm just going to proceed with default one. Click next, and finish. So now we successfully created a one distributed switch. The switch name is class DB switch. Now we just need to click here. It will give you the information about the number of virtual machine, a number of host which is connected with this particular distributed switch. But in this case, in our case, we just created our distributed switch. If you check the host panel or virtual machine option, so we are unable to find anything because we haven't added any VMs or any host with our DV switch, right? So what you need to do, second step, as per the agenda, we just need to add host to our distributed switch, right? So I'm just going to right click on our distributed switch that we created, and we are able to find one option, add and manage host. So just need to click here. It give you option if you have already added your host, so you can proceed with manage host networking, or you can proceed with remove host. But in our case, we just created a distributed switch, so it's our responsibility to proceed with first option because we are planning to add our ESXi host. Just need to click next. It give you the complete information about the ESXi host which is available in our which is available in our data center. So in our data center we have only single ESXi host. You just need to check mark. If you're connected with multiple ESXi, you will get an information about the another ESXi host in this particular panel. So I'm just going to proceed with 1.100. Click next. Next again, no need to do anything. Click next and create. Right, so we successfully proceeded to add a one ESXi host in our a distributed switch. Just need to click here, and we are able to find 192.168.1.100 successfully connected with our DV switch. Third number, configure port group. Port group, as per the name suggests, the meaning of port group is basically related to the VLAN. You can also say that it's a type of VLAN, virtual network. So question is that what is VLAN and why we need to use in our environment? So we should know about the usage of VLAN. We'll also discuss about the private VLAN and another types of VLAN which is available in our distributed switch. But for now, I'm just going to define you the basic information about the port group, or you can say that VLAN. So guys, as per the name suggests, if we talk about VLAN, so you know that VLAN is a virtual local area network which is responsible to segregate the port from a single physical switch. If we compare it with our physical switch, so you can say that it can help us to segregate the communication between virtual machine. By using the VLAN, we are able to segregate the communication. So third step, let's talk about the port group. What is port group? So as per the name suggests, what is port group? So you can say that port group is also a type of, not a type of, it's a self VLAN. You can say that this is our virtual LAN. The work of VLAN is basically, you can say that, for example, we have a switch, and in our switch we have up to 24 ports. We have a one switch. I'm just going to give you example of our physical switch. You just need to compare the same example with our distributed switch. So in our switch we have a 24 ports, for example, and you want to segregate the port for different departments, like as a you want to provide 24 port for our HR department, and up to 12 port for HR and 12 port for IT department, right? So you want to segregate the port, like you have a 12 different virtual machine or physical machine which is connected with HR, and these machines are communicating to each other. So what you need to do, we have a single switch, you need to create a VLAN and assign the VLAN ID. It may be 2, 3, 4, it's up to you. And second, we created another VLAN with name of IT. The capacity of IT VLAN is also responsible, able to contain up to 12 different ports, means we are able to connect up to 12 different devices. This is VLAN 2, right? You can say that the VLAN IT with name of IT. It also contains 12 ports. So in case of port group, you can also configure the VLAN, means the segregation of our virtual machine communication. If you create two different port group and you put some virtual machine in HR department and some virtual machine in IT department, so each other, our virtual machine unable to communicate each other because you segregated with the help of port group. I hope you all of you understand about the concept of HR and IT, and also you have idea about the port group and VLAN. So I'm going to show you the practical. In our case, we have a default port group. I don't want to use the default port group, so that's why I'm going to right click on our distributed switch that we created with name of class DB, and try to create our own port group. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Open the option or panel of switches or networking. Right click on your distributed switch that you created, and we are able to find the option of distributed port group, and we just need to click on new distributed port group. Click here, type the name of your port group. I'm going to proceed with name of HR. This is the location, means our distributed switch name. Next, you can select the port binding. No need to make any changes with this port binding, because I'm planning to give you the complete information about the feature or option which is available in our VLAN, because we also need to complete the task of private VLAN. So no need to do anything. You can decide the number of port that you want to provide for your HR department, and this is really important. You need to select the VLAN and provide one VLAN ID. So for HR, I'm going to proceed with the port number 2, not port number, ID number 2. Click next and finish. One port group is ready to use. Meanwhile, I'm going to create another port group by using the same step, and this time I want to create a port group with name of IT. Same switch contain two different types of port. Select VLAN, type the, you must need to use different ID of VLAN, and finish. So now we completed third part. We successfully created a VLAN. We understand about the concept of VLAN, and another important also export distributed switch port configuration. But before that, I'm going to show you how you can add your virtual machine in these port groups, right? Because whenever we click on our port group, go to the virtual machine, there are no virtual machines connected with this particular port group, right? If we talk about host, so our host is available. Host is the part of same port group, but unfortunately, we haven't assigned any port group for any haven't assigned any virtual machine for this particular port group. So what you need to do, back to the data center, means our inventory of data center. Select your virtual machines, right click on VM, go to the setting, edit setting, same step that you need to use that you already uses in case of standard switch configuration. Select network adapter, and in the network adapter click browse, and it will give you the complete information. So I'm going to put our Windows 10 machine in HR department, and proceed with next. And Windows 10 I want, Windows 8 I want to put it into the IT department. Select browse and click IT department, right? Save it. So we successfully save both virtual machine. We successfully configure our both virtual machine and put it into that two different VLAN port. So back to the networking again. Click HR, Windows 10 operating system available. Click IT, Windows 8 operating system available, right? So we are able to create our port group, and we successfully added our virtual machine into the port group. And in this case, if you turn on your Windows 10 and Windows 8 operating system and try to communicate each other, we are unable to make a connection, we are unable to send any data, or we are unable to receive any data in between, because both virtual machines are available in different port group, both virtual machines are available in different VLAN, right? So I hope all of you understand about it. And next important part is we should know about, before making a backup and restore option, let's try to understand about the migration of virtual machine from one port group to another port group, right? So as for the name suggests, it's also a type of migration. For example, you created up to 50 different virtual machine, and each virtual machines are part of HR department, and due to some reason you are planning to migrate the entire 50 virtual machine from HR department to IT department. So it's really difficult to make a changes, make a adapter setting for every virtual machine separately. It will take much time. So what you need to do, if you want to migrate the entire VM by using the migration option, on single click you want to migrate entire virtual machine from one port group to another port group, or one VLAN to another VLAN. So you just need to right click on your port group that you want to migrate, right? In our case, I'm just going to move our entire virtual machine which is available in HR to IT department. So in our case, in HR department, we have a Windows 10 operating system. I want to migrate this VM to IT department. Just right click here, and we are able to find one option, migrate VM to another network, right? Just need to click here. This is source, and in case of source, as we know that we are on property of HR, so we need to select the destination, click browse, where you want to migrate your VM. I'm going to migrate it in IT department, right? Select your IT department, click OK. Next, this is our virtual machine, and it give you option to decide, like as you want to migrate customize virtual machine, like you don't want to migrate, like you have a 50 VMs and you want to transfer up to 30 virtual machine from one department or one port group to another port group. So you have option to check mark it. So select virtual machine to migrate from HR to IT, right? You just need to check mark, click next. No need to do anything, finish. Okay, it is in progress. I'm just going to refresh the page, and virtual machine is automatically disappear because it successfully migrated to IT department. So in our IT department, in IT port group, we are able to find both virtual machines are available. Is it clear? So this is the concept that you can use to migrate selected or custom or entire virtual machine from one port group to another port group. I hope you understand about the concept. So about the export and import. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create another video, because I also need to define you about the private VLAN and taking the backup of our distributed switch. So I'll give you the complete details, practical detail in another video. So in this class, I hope you all of you understand about the topics that we completed. Please let me know if you have any question or doubt. You can drop a comment. Definitely will reach your comment and give you proper solution. And guys, please do subscribe your Teach Me Cloud YouTube channel. Thank you. Take care and bye bye.